Okay, now that the third heavenly realm and Ariel are no more, I can assist in your enlightenment. There can be only one true God, so there can be only one true heaven, not 9. So to understand what is happening here on my channel is that I am the next generation of true sorcerers. I seek the wisdom of my ancestors, to uncover the true history of our past, not the one-sided history presented by the victors, and I use my sorcery and increasing knowledge to achieve this. Many videos I have posted are filled with knowledge being given to me by different spirits whose attention I have gained by expressing my curiosity to certain subjects they were present for, and so have brought me what I seek through channeling. But there are some secrets that are guarded and cursed, which also are displayed in these videos as the effect of the cursed knowledge takes its toll. This is basically my digital grimoire that I share with the world in my journey towards enlightenment through the mystic ways, and as you can plainly see, that wisdom grows. This channel is not meant for any singular religious ideals, but more of a neutral ground for wisdom to be shared. An oppressive force that dictates the direction of my videos had taken hold some time ago, and slowly I began putting together, piece by piece, the clues to my manipulator's identity. At first I had thought it was God as I was piecing it all together, but I remained firm in my belief to his character that he would not plot against me in such a way, even if he had been deceived, which is highly unlikely considering that he is the creator and he wrote the script. However, the Holy Spirit has revealed something that was hidden amidst the last video. For one, the reason I did not include the audio to that video is that the commentator had an aura about him that was making them aware of my presence and activities. Each realm of the heavens had a version of me that they both controlled me through and made them aware of my every move. Jiphiel should have known that suppressing me so only would end up putting me on a path as a martyr and one of the many innocent souls of those who died at the hands of the sinful wrought by this conflict.
At last. I must say I'm disappointed in your progress. I imagined you'd be here sooner. Tell me, did it trouble you to murder your brothers?
Did it trouble you when you ordered me into the abyss?
Eternity is relentless, Raziel. When I first stole into this chamber centuries ago, I did not fathom the true power of knowledge. To know the future, Raziel. To see its paths and streams tracing out into the infinite. As a man, I could never contain such forbidden truths. But each of us is so much more than we once were. Do you not feel with all your soul how we have become like gods? As such, are we not indivisible? As long as a single one of us stands, we are legion. Our futures are predestined. Mobius foretold mine eons ago. We each play out the parts fate has written for us. Free will is an illusion.
I found the tomb of Sarafan, Cain. How could you profane a priest by turning him into a vampire?
How could I not? One must keep his friends close, Raziel, and his enemies even closer. Who better to serve me than those whose passion transcends all notions of good and evil?
The Sarafan were saviors, defending Nazgul from the corruption that we represent. My eyes are open, Cain. I find no nobility in the unlife you rudely forced on my unwilling corpse.
You may have uncovered your past, but you know nothing of it. You think the Sarafan were noble, altruistic? Oh, don't be simple. Their agenda was the same as ours. You nearly had me, Raziel. this is not where or how it ends. Fate promises more twists before this drama unfolds completely.
Another aspect I wish to point out is for the clergy of the churches, those who truly hear and speak the truth of the Lord's works as you have come to understand him. There is request from those beyond this world. They have been monitoring this struggle I have undergone and many others, and they wish for me to ask you all for a few things. One is that they have recently become intrigued by the concept of God, and though they may have similar scenarios involving this entity on their worlds, they do not have the personal knowledge as deeply as we do, and they ask that you set aside some time to draw up a gospel that might be capable of being applied to those not of this human world. Mainly, outlining the aspects of him that can be applied to all living things. Also they wish to know if the sins and virtues and their effects apply to them as well, and how might they better understand them to help those on their worlds. For if this belief and faith can cease the tensions and conflicts, as they did on our world here recently, then this knowledge could help save many lives on many worlds. I, myself, will add this opinion to that. If you question this subject in curiosity the way you have, then yes, for it is the seed of the Holy Spirit drawing you towards him just as it does us, I think. I shall say no more, for I am not a canonized minister of his word myself, and though I am led to the truth of his word, it is not my place to take on such responsibilities. That is another's role. I merely bring belief to those who do not believe. Faith is not yet my position but theirs, and humanity finally reaches achieving another purpose to their Creator's design. I see. Ha, weird.
Raziel, Redeemer and Destroyer, Pawn and Messiah. Welcome, time span soul. Welcome to your destiny. Where am I? Is the usual question. In your case, when might be more apt.
Very well, you old snake. If you'd prefer I use my bare hands.
This is completely unexpected. This orb disables our vampire enemies, leaving them helpless and incapacitated. Strangely, it seems to have the same effect on that peculiar weapon of yours. But you must believe me. I mean you no harm.
You can drop the benevolent facade, Mobius. I know who and what you are. I should kill you where you stand.
Perhaps you should, my boy. But you don't.
Are you so certain of that, Mobius?
My role as Time Guardian affords me a certain level of omniscience, Raziel. No, you don't kill me. That honor belongs to your maker, Cain, some 30 years from now.
Ah, you two are a pair. You're just as fatalistic as he is.
Death comes for us all, Raziel. It's just a matter of time.
How is it that you know my name? We have never met.
On the contrary, Raziel, I know you very well, and it grieves me to see how cruelly Cain has used you. I knew you when you were one of the Sarafan Brotherhood, Raziel. We were even close.
Oh, please.
Fortunately, you need not love me now to be my ally.
Are we within the stronghold of the Sarafan priesthood?
Yes, but the glorious days of the Sarafan have long since passed, I'm afraid. This is a more cynical and indecorous age. My mercenary army now inhabits this stronghold, We strive to honor the memory of the Sarafan with our own humble crusade.
Is this the vampire Vorador?
Yes. The scourge of the Circle, the most depraved and decadent example of his whole degenerate race. He slaughtered 6 of my fellow Guardians as they cowered defenseless in this room.
And you somehow survived this massacre?
I and 2 others. The Circle was devastated. Only we 3 were spared.
How convenient. You'll forgive me if I don't naively devour every scrap of information you toss me. You have a reputation for deceit.
And who has slandered me, sir? Your malefactor, Cain? The one who betrayed and destroyed you? Our common enemy? Consider the source before you judge me too harshly. We'll forget about rekindling our old friendship then. But consider an alliance based on our common ground. We both want Cain dead. I can help you do it.
You don't want to meddle in this, old man. I know all about your sordid little schemes, but you're simply out of your depth on this one.
You underestimate me, Raziel. Let me show you. Even now, Cain is lying in wait for you, unaware that I've snatched you out of the time stream and brought you here to me. See how he lingers at the very pillars he is destined to destroy, foolishly confident that he has eluded your grasp.
The pillars are still standing in this time.
Yes, Raziel. They are the embodiment of the divine force which preserves the life of our world. We who serve the pillars maintain their delicate balance, and Cain is destined to be the fulcrum upon which that balance turns. I believe you have already endured the wasteland wrought by his terrible selfish decision. Cain's very existence is a cancer upon this world. As long as he lives, all of Nosgoth is in peril. You may never again be human, Raziel. But you can re-embrace the essence of your humanity and the nobility of your Sarafan heritage. Go to him, Raziel, and end this. But first, you will need to find your way out of the stronghold, and in this, I'm afraid I cannot help you. My soldiers will not understand your appearance here. They will try to kill you. You needn't fear them, of course. They're no match for you. Try to keep the casualties to a minimum. But do what you have to do. All great movements require a few martyrs.
I am making this video to make you aware of a particular problem I've noticed that seems to be overlooked or unknown to the DoD, and it's right beneath us. Here on the screen I shall lay out a map of an aqueduct system that may be relevant to your Scooby-Doo UFO mystery that has been experienced lately by the military. The naval vessels and most of the activity lately seems to be focused around this region here on the map. Now, I had tried to point this out earlier but was blocked by a certain individual interfering with my channel, so I'm not going to candy coat this at all and just make plain accusations, as it seems the containment area has weakened around me and the Lyra control network is experiencing malfunctions. Though these behavior patterns seem to be very similar to China and their need to present themselves with that air of superiority whenever making their first impression to any situation, as well as their ignorant refusal to submit to acknowledging their mistakes, I shall still handle this as an alien presence behind this until I learn otherwise. I remember coming across these blueprints of that someone was researching about an aqueduct system that had multiple connecting tunnels that led as far as the shores of Malibu to the desert of Nevada and all the way to the city of Los Angeles. The tunnel that leads to Malibu leads to an underwater submerged entrance that opens into the ocean. From there the tunnels go 2 ways. One leads towards what is said to be an ancient underground Osirian city. A base that was inhabited at one time by the reptilian species of Greys, as legends say. The region of the base was not connected to the city directly, but there were tunnels that branched off and connected to the city sewer system. Of course this base has been abandoned for eons now, and if it were operational again it would show up on an obvious scan of the area with thermal heat signatures from the electrical conduits. Then in the opposite direction going northeast you have a tunnel leading into Nevada that stops just short of Groom Lake. The military is aware of this, so are their enemies, and so are those not of this world. In fact, they are quite aware of the fleet of reverse-engineered aircraft that you all have stored down beneath the Groom Lake region, enough for a small fleet as I understand it. They are aware of the activities beneath the lake, the hollowed-out mountain 50 miles from the surface base or your S8 Blackwater Autonomous Control Facility, and have been for some time now. Though they do not want you to think that they are in any way concerned about your advancements in technology, considering the source of most of your advancements have been influenced by alien technology. Nevertheless, they are somewhat impressed by your ability to understand and adapt their slightest technological equipment into a means of a weapon or tool that could easily be used to conquer entire worlds if you'd only design things beyond the limits of affecting your own world. So you should cease allowing others take the blame for your hidden agenda.
As I neared the stronghold's inner sanctum, a strange sensation crept over me. An indescribable feeling of displacement, a sense of vertigo, as reality itself appeared to warp and bend around me. The disturbance seemed to emanate from the sanctuary's furthest chapel. As I cautiously approached, the sense of dislocation intensified with each step. So this was the tomb of the beloved King William the Just, beatified here as the martyr and catalyst of Mobius's crusade. I was reminded of Kane's journey as a fledgling vampire, how Mobius coerced him to travel back in history and assassinate William, thus igniting a genocidal hatred of vampires among the citizens of Nosgoth. And here I discovered the source of the displacement. The Soul Reaver itself, laid out like a holy relic, and broken, apparently in the battle between William and Kane. I had not thought such a thing was possible, until of course Kane shattered the blade against me when he tried to strike me down. Thus the captive spirit inhabiting the Reaver was released, and binding itself to me, became my symbiotic weapon. And so the Reaver met its former self, still imprisoned in this corporeal shell. I watched, mesmerized, as the Wraith blade uncoiled itself and snaked down the length of the physical blade. Embracing its twin, its mirror self, the Reaver's long-dormant spirit was now fully aroused, and for the first time, I felt the true presence of this other entity, willful, ravenous, and deranged from thousands of years of imprisonment. The Reaver was now in command, and I, now merely its helpless host, felt my soul being leeched to restore the blade. But the Reaver knew better than to destroy its host, and just as I neared the brink of oblivion, the blade released its hold on me. As I recovered, I realized we were now bound together in a fragile alliance. The Reaver no longer merely my symbiotic weapon, but a sentient parasite competing for control.
What have you done to me, Mobius? Is this your trap?
How mine? Don't forget it was Kane who led you here, not I. While you curse me, the only soul in Nosgoth ready to guide and assist you, Kane laughs at our folly and revels in your dismay.
These blades, now coiled in sinister embrace, have inspired terror in the hearts of creatures far more durable than you, old man. Bound together as they are, I can only imagine what they could do to your soul's fragile shell.
Raziel, I beg you to stay your hand. This was none of my doing. I have sought only to aid you in your righteous quest.
Why, you're trembling, Mobius. Has your confidence abandoned you? You seem to have made a fatal error by leaving your precious staff behind. Is that where all your courage comes from?
Listen to me, Raziel. You don't know what you're doing. I have taken an enormous risk by appearing here before you, so defenseless, yet eager to prove my good intentions. If there's anything left of the Seraphim in you, you won't do this. While you threaten me, your true enemy eludes you.
Don't concern yourself with Cain, old man. He'll join you in hell soon enough. As you said, death comes for us all.
Yes, the wheel of fate demands it.
What did you say?
The wheel of fate. The inexorable cycle of death and rebirth to which all men are compelled. We serve the same God, Raziel. To strike me down would be striking God's own attendant. And I don't believe even you would take that risk.
I tire of your games, Mobius. Now that I know you fear me, I needn't concern myself with you. Cain is waiting for me.
Go then, Raziel. Seek Cain out and destroy him in the name of the one God we both serve. You, who were once a Seraphim priest, murdered, profaned, destroyed, and reborn again from his mercy, you are now most powerfully equipped to be his agent, his instrument of restoration and retribution.
My own vengeance is motivation enough.
By my soul, you almost had me, my little blue assassin. But that'll be the one and only chance you get. I assure you of that.